pattern gets a hold of them. And they usually do it because there's more juice, excitement, attention, or energy in that pattern than otherwise. Now, it takes a concerted effort for people to overcome their negaholism. It's not something that happens, as I said, just with a wave of a wand or easily overnight. But it can be done. And there are steps to making this happen. You have to understand how the system works within them. And you have to make the decision inside you. Is this person worth investing in? Because it is an investment of time, energy, and money to help this person overcome these challenges. Very often the answer is no, they're not worth keeping around. But if they have enough expertise, enough knowledge, enough years of experience, enough to contribute to the organization where you really want them around and you want them to succeed, but you want them to be more positive than negative, then this investment of time and energy is worth it, and it does pay off. But the person themselves needs to be aware of it, and I'll go into the 6 steps afterwards about how to change any behavior. They have to be aware of what's going on with them. Now, ideally, in the performance reviews that you've done with the person, they're aware that they procrastinate. They're aware that they're late on their reports. They're aware that they are not a positive influence in the organization. They've gotten that feedback from someone who has been interested enough to give them accurate, honest, and timely feedback about themselves on the job so that they're aware of it. If they're aware of it, then they have the opportunity to choose to change it. Because we can't really change anybody else. They have to choose to change themselves. And that's why that choice to change is so important. Because if they do want to change, they can change. But they won't change just randomly. It usually involves new attitudes, new behaviors, new mental constructs, ways of looking at things and perceiving reality, and verbal behavior as well. And people say to me, well, where do I start? I say, you start with a journal. You start with a book and a pen, and you start writing down what's happening inside. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are your perceptions? Are you believing things are possible to change? Or are you reinforcing it's not possible, it can't happen, there's no way? Utilizing the brain function effectively and dismantling the triple imprint. Because that's what you will do with people, is help them dismantle that triple imprint. There are 7 actions to change any behavior. So if you want to stop your negaholic behavior on the golf course, you can apply these 7 steps. Or if you want to help another person change their behavior, same. So become aware of what you're doing. Nothing ever changes without awareness. Awareness is fundamental. Without awareness, nothing changes. Then you have to acknowledge it. So you could be a smoker, and that's a fact. You could be aware of the fact that you smoke. That's a fact. You can even acknowledge the fact that you smoke. But the next step, the choice to change, is where everything rests. A lot of smokers don't want to change, and they don't want to stop smoking. That's okay. You have to have the desire, the willingness, the belief, and the commitment coming from the person who wants to choose to change their behaviors from negative to positive. You have to have a plan with them, and you have to work the plan. Whether it's you supporting the person or working the plan, or your designee, they have to have a person who is going to be their mentor, their coach, their guide, their guardian angel, whatever you want to call it. They need that last step, their external accountability. And working that plan needs commitment, and it needs follow-up and follow-through. And every time you work with an adult, you have to reinforce those behaviors. You have to reinforce, you have to celebrate what they're doing right, because that's what they don't do ever. And you have to reward those behaviors as well. I'm open for questions, but 2 things. There are a couple of sample books on the table outside. We don't have enough to sell them, but there is a little book catalog here that has information on the back. If you want to attach your business card to it and let us know what you're interested in, Michael Pomage, who is my partner and dear husband, will make certain that you get, if it's a CD, or it's a book, or whatever it is to support you in your endeavors, we'll make sure that happens. And if you give us a business card and let us know that you'd like to have a complimentary week on our virtual training. Online, we have 138 programs, about 5-minute modules each, so it's hard for people to say, I don't have any time. Most people can find 5 minutes. So if you want that, we can make that available to you as a gift. I'll give to you today. And I'm open for questions. I stunned you. Okay. Yes?
Sorry, just a quick question. Where do you draw the line between awareness and acknowledge? Because they're both recognizing something
Yes.
is fact. So obviously you're making a nuanced distinction.
Awareness is that I know that I'm doing something. Acknowledge usually means I externalize it. I tell somebody else that I know I'm doing this. So it's an admission. It's a letting somebody else know that I know this about me. Because awareness is a personal thing that's very private. Thank you.